How you guys doing? This is my first vlog because I forgot to post yesterday. Anyways, I wasn't able to post because I had shit to do. And I saw Ted last night, so I wasn't able to get one in at the last minute like I usually do. So I don't really know what to talk about in a vlog, so I'm going to do something I'm familiar with, which is a movie review. So here's a capsule movie review of Ted. And Ted you might have heard of because it's kind of breaking records. So that's exciting. Um, it's now, I'm pretty sure it was number one it was number one last week, which I guess would have been its opening week, and it's going to be number one probably this week as well. Um, but it was the highest grossing R-rated film of all time, beating The Hangover. So that's pretty exciting. But on to the actual movie. Ted is the feature-length film by Seth MacFarlane, yes, who created Family Guy. And if you know me, you know I'm probably not a big fan of Family Guy. I understand why people like it, and it's actually not. I, I mean, structure-wise, it's really not that different from something like 30 Rock, which just kind of throws jokes, nonstop jokes in the script, and some hit and some don't. But Family Guy, I think, bothers me because it's just so broad. And Ted suffers from some of the same things that kind of annoy me about Family Guy, but overall, it's actually a much better film than I was expecting. Um, both in its writing and its composition as well. Seth MacFarlane isn't a bad director, but just a brief synopsis for those who haven't heard about the film. Ted is kind of a twist on the classic wish fulfillment scenario, which is kind of a common idea in movies, especially holiday movies, actually. Um, but one day, the main character, who's played by Mark Wahlberg, he's he's kind of a loner when he's younger, and he's definitely alienated from most of the other kids. And he one day wishes for a teddy bear he got for Christmas to come to life. And so, therefore, you have a premise for a movie. But Ted, of course, the teddy bear, Ted, is of course a big troublemaker. What the film kind of does is it kind of portrays him as almost like a Danny Bonaducci, or very much like uh, has been reality film or reality TV star, has been movie star. So going with just kind of that premise, they have Ted as kind of a pot-smoking, really crude, anthropomorphic teddy bear. And of course, he's voiced by Seth MacFarlane, who plays Stewie in Family Guy, amongst other voices. And there's actually quite a few Family Guy cast members who show up. Um, but besides for uh, Mila Kunis, who plays Meg on Family Guy, and Joe, who I'm not going to pretend to know the actor. There's actually quite a few really good supporting actors. You have Joel McHale, who's probably best known for The Soup, and for Community, which, I can never talk about Community enough. But he has a lot of fun being this really skeezy boss to Mila Kunis. And there's also a really interesting turn by Giovanni Ribisi, who, unfortunately, the one thing I can really remember him from is the god-awful Michael Bay Gone 60 Seconds remake. But he's actually really fun in this as a just really, really delightfully weird collector who wants to kidnap Ted. And they take that in some interesting directions. But as far as the actual film goes, the humor is definitely just R-rated Family Guy, but that actually works a lot better than it should. I think part of the reason the film works better is there's not the cutaways, which the cutaways are always bothered me in the series because it kind of It just disrupts the narrative flow all the time. And I think the other thing that's really surprising about Ted is that, like another contemporary of his, Judd Apatow, he wants to mix that kind of really raunch with heart. And so there's some moments that are actually surprisingly heartwarming, particularly the ending, which I won't spoil. Um, but overall, the film kind of gets bogged down in its jokes. There's some definite moments where it could kind of build on character beats and things like that, but instead it kind of goes for a quick joke. Um, but also, true to Family Guy, there's a lot of obscure pop culture references. In particular, Flash Gordon is idolized in a way that has, I don't think, ever been done in another film, short of probably some cult Adult Swim show. But Flash Gordon is idolized, as well as Tom Skerritt gets the most mentions he's probably gotten in 15 years. But um, and those, really specific pop culture jokes really work for the film. But other than that, the film is a little bit overpacked with jokes. It's like McFarlane isn't confident enough in his ability to just, kind of write a good story, which the story is actually much better than I thought it was going to be. But overall, Ted's actually a lot of fun, and now some of it feels a little bit overdone. Like there's a fight scene late in the movie that seems like it goes on just forever. But other than that, it's actually quite a good directorial directorial debut for Seth MacFarlane. And as much as I hate to say it, I'm probably looking forward to what he's going to come out with next. Because I was definitely surprised by this film. But just final thoughts, because I've been talking way too long. I'd probably give the film, on a grade scale, probably a B plus. So that's much better than I thought it was going to be. And I suggest you see it. There's some good laughs in there. All right, I'm signing off now. Bye bye.